Amanda presents this unabridged recording of Inside WikiLeaks, written by Daniel Domscheit-Berg with Tina Klopp, and read by Adrian Mulraney. To the First Amendment, and those defending the world's most precious bastion of freedom of speech. Author's note. When I joined WikiLeaks in 2007, I found myself involved in a project devoted above all to one goal, subjecting the power that was exercised behind closed doors to public scrutiny. The idea of using an internet platform to create transparency where it was most resisted was as simple as it was brilliant. Over the course of my time with Julian Assange at WikiLeaks, I would experience firsthand how power and secrecy corrupt people. As the months passed, WikiLeaks developed in a direction that dismayed core members of the team and led us to leave the project in September 2010. I was confident that the diplomatic, almost reticent criticism I voiced at the time would cause people to question the power of WikiLeaks and the chief figure behind it, as is the case with other organizations. In fact, the opposite happened. Small segments of the public around the world, people who had been acquainted with the topic for a while, did begin to criticize what WikiLeaks had turned into, but their questions were drowned out in the hype surrounding the platform for leaking confidential documents and its founder. Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, bound inextricably to each other, became a pop culture phenomenon. That was due primarily to the informational vacuum at the heart of a secretive organization whose motto is transparency. Now, like so many of the people to whom we gave a platform for revelations, I have decided to make inside information public. This isn't a decision I have taken lightly. For a long time, I was torn between feelings of loyalty and my own moral standards. At WikiLeaks, we often used to say that only an accurate, historical record can enable a true understanding of the world. I have decided to do my part toward that end with this book. Daniel Domscheit-Berg, Berlin, January 2011. Inside WikiLeaks. Prologue. I stare at the monitor. The screen is black with green letters. A couple of posts react to the lines I wrote. I ignore them. I've already typed my last words. There's nothing left to say. It's over. Forever. Julian was no longer present in the chat room. At least he hadn't answered. Perhaps he was sitting silently in front of his computer, apathetic, shocked or enraged, in Sweden or wherever he was keeping himself at the moment. I didn't know. I only knew I was never going to talk to him again. The bar on the corner had discharged the last of its guests into the night. I heard them cheerfully heading toward the nighttime streetcar stop. It was approaching 2 a.m. on September the 15th, 2010. I left my laptop on my desk and collapsed into a pile of cushions in the corner of my living room. I picked up a novel by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett and started reading. What else was one supposed to do in a situation like this? What would other people do? I read for hours. At some point, I fell asleep, still in my jeans and sweater, with woolen slippers from my grandmother on my feet. The book fell to the floor. I remember the title, Good Omens. How do you walk out of your job when the place where you work is the whole world? When there are no colleagues around to give a farewell handshake? When 2 hastily typed lines in green letters have burned all your bridges? When no one even gives you a swift kick in the ass to send you on your way? You're suspended, Julian had written me weeks ago. As if he alone were the only one who could decide.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?